Спешу я, ребят.
Куда? Ты же пришел к нам на состязание?
По каким правилам будем драться?
У нас нет правил.
Mr. Nardia, nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Today we are going to speak about practice. So I would like to see some demonstration, how you practice, how you do trainings with your students, and how you train your students to protect themselves against the knife. Yes, I know, you are making trainings for the special forces and military men. Can you tell me please, what tactics and what strategy and what systems they do, and what systems you practice with them?
The first thing, when you try to build a good warrior is to teach him about be a good human. That's the most important. And the first thing, when I recruit you, so, like as a recruiter, like new soldiers for the Israeli top unit, we want to see that they have a good character. And they're very polite, they're very manners, but they can change it in 1 second and to be the most aggressive person in the world. And we call it a positive aggressive. Because some people, you will see they're always aggressive with no reason. There's no reason. And the guy is always, we call them la la land. The guy is a little bit cuckoo. And normally those people, they have nothing to do with special forces. Special forces are very normal person. That one lieutenant colonel one day he says that it's the most normal people that need to do the most unnormal work just as a work. And you're looking for people that can do this transition and to be a very good people, very good parents, very good husbands or family people. It's very difficult because the psychological, when you have to do a nasty job, it's not simple. Tactic and mostly technique, it's something that you can teach. But the first thing, they need to think the right way. And thinking the right way is the most important. Then you can teach anything that you want. It's only a skill.
Can you tell me please, how do you think tactics and strategy that's useful in the special forces can be used by ordinary people? I mean, in the case, empty hands against the knife.
It's need to adjust. To be honest, like many times people say, "Oh, Avi, you teach special forces," and I'm laughing because to teach special forces, it's not need much skills as a trainer. It's more like an ego thing. Oh, I'm teaching this commando, that commando. My highest skill was to manage to teach handicapped people and handicapped kids. I had a big project with handicapped kids to bring them into martial art and to adjust the system to people with a lot of limitation, body limitation, mental limitation. That's need a skill. Because in the special forces, they are like gorillas and they're strong anyway. And normally they depend on the weapon. They depend on the primary weapon, on the primary gun. If they lose it, they have a secondary gun. And that's why when people show me all of those skills with the knife, for special forces, mostly the knife will be to cut ropes, to cut targets, and to open cans in the field, for eating. But it will not be really to kill somebody, because you put a silencer and you shoot him from 10 meters, or you put it on a silencer or a silencer gun and you shoot him even from 1 kilometer, and there's no need for this kind of all days contact. And that's why I think that a lot of the special forces, they lost a lot of the CQB. The warrior heart is very sophisticated because the first thing you have to follow the warrior code. And the second, if you do something bad, you need actually to do not see it. It's like a zazen, like Zen. You don't see it. It's you have to be in a mental position like a swordman. You cut a person and you go through. You don't see it, because if you see it, you're gonna suffer all your life from a post-trauma. And you see it with the American soldiers now in Iraq. They're all crying about post-trauma because they've never been prepared like in the old days, that the battle was much more CQB. So actually our modern life is depend much more on technology, and we're losing a little bit from the skill of the warrior as a warrior. So with a civilian, I try to put these values first and last. And I'm trying to develop them as a warrior. And I'm trying also to adjust the skills, because sometimes I see, okay, when you're 25, you can jump in the air and flick-flack and do all of those crazy things. What happened when you're 70? What happened when you're 60, when you're 50? And most of the people, even when they're 40, they're already bald and fat. So how are you going to do those things? In special forces, you don't have that. My soldiers, every 4 months, they have a test. They need to run in a certain time. They need to climb rope only with the hands. They need to perform skills that civilians don't have it. And our job, 90%, is to practice. So how can a civilian, we go to the work, it's 8 hours for training. For the civilian, it's 8 hours sitting near to the computer. So how are you going to transfer this to him? So the method for civilian is a little bit different. You also need to remember that in the civilian life, I will have a nice ladies like you coming to my class. And they're not muscle and they go with high heel, and they still need to develop self-defense. And actually, they are much more in self-defense situations than me or a guy that carry 2 guns and a knife. Self-defense is a little bit different, and the concept should be different. And many gun disarming, for example, yeah, you can do it. You can move the gun and punch the guy in the face. But if you punch somebody in the face, you're going to hurt yourself. This is another thing that people, when they come to the training, how much the training needs to be extreme, because I cross with a lot. Now the ego is really hitting the fan, like everyone wants to show he can kill in 1 second, and the other, I'm killing better than him, I can kill in half seconds. This is not martial art. Martial art start again with the human, and I can go and teach criminals. They will success better than any maybe students, because they are nutcase. Some of them, they are on drugs. They can do the brutal things, but the question is, do I want or need to teach them as a teacher? And today, everyone's forgot one thing. They sold their heart, and that's the first thing that teaching to be a warrior. If you don't have a heart, you will never be a warrior. And a lot of people, they're afraid from death. I'm not afraid of death. I'm laughing. What is it then? If I need to die, I die. But I die like a man. I die like a warrior. I don't worry about what. One day we all will die. So this is not my concern. Every time you see a class, people say, yeah, but what if somebody come with a knife? And what if somebody come with 2 tickets to Hawaii? That's more interesting for me than if somebody come with a knife and attacking me. And to be honest, I feel sorry for somebody that will come now with a knife and attack. Don't look about the ego or come to my school, you'll be the most safe. So I'm sure that I will develop also good students. And also from my experience, I can tell you a list of experience of one of my students, for example, they tried to kidnap him when he was in the army. So 2 terrorists tried to kidnap him, and he survived it. One student of mine, he met me, and he had a baby on his hand and a baby on a trolley. And he asked me, Sensei, can I talk to you? And I'm laughing because I know who he is. And he come close, and then he told me, I've been in the army. And you are the person in the army. When you go to officer course, you have to write 3 persons that affecting you the most. So, it could be your father, but he write Avi Nardia, Avi Nardia, Avi Nardia. And this guy, when he came to my class, his mother died, and his father was drunk, and he started to smoke, he started to drink, and I locked the door, and I smacked him. And his father came, and I smacked his father, and I locked the door, and I smacked him, and I forced them to clean my school, and I say, if you don't come tomorrow, I come and I kill you. And I forced the kid to come to my school every day, clean the school, and one day when he come drunk, I play airplane with him. It's a judo, but every time I throw him, you fly, you almost touch the ceiling. And when he fall, he throw, he cleaned the school. He remember me very well, but I changed his life. He became an officer in the army, and he came and he told me with two kids, you know, I've been shot in Gaza Strip. I've been shot with RPG, with guns, grenades, mines. He said, I'm still afraid of you, from you, more than anything else. So I said I was a good teacher. And I am, as a teacher, I'm very strict. I'm not talking with adults. I'm not talking with ladies. Every population is different. I can come and demo like my ego and whatever. Or I can just do a professional demo and to explain what I do. If I do it in the street, who knows? Only the streets know. So there's no problem to demo. But also you need to remember that somebody say a kick. What is the amount of power of your kick? Can you break 3 baseball bats when you kick? I can do it. So if you can do it, you know that your kick is value. Can you break when you something? You know, all of those tamashigiri in karate is not for ego. It's to show that you have enough force. And I don't want to break somebody's leg, so I break baseball bat by kicking, or I break wood, or I break cement, to show that my body condition, and that's the word that, for example, for the knife for me is the most important, body condition. Body condition is one of the most important for a warrior. And that's what I do there's no technique. All the techniques are good and bad. It's only depend on timing. It's only depend, you know, technique is like a tool. One technique, it's like a hammer. That's the punching. One technique is like a screwdriver. You see, this is like a technique. If we're in a fist, in a hammer fight, and you do a screwdriver, you're gonna lose. So you need to analyze what fight you're getting, and it's like this. You have stone, scissor, and paper. So if I want to fight a scissor, take a stone. That's the style you need. If you want to fight a stone, become a paper. But if you fight paper against scissor, you lose. But you see, the paper win over the stone, but you lose over the scissor. So a lot of fighters, they know only one style. They know karate. They know Kali, Arnis, Eskrima. But what about the other martial arts? And this is where the modern martial artist is a cross, like a cross training. I don't call it MMA, we call it cross training, because it's not somebody that studied nothing. It's somebody that his teacher has a black belt in judo, has a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, has a black belt, or he did Thai box, or has a black belt in karate. And that give you a panorama, because you can never be the best in Kali, you can never be the best in judo, and there's no magic. You know, I got kicks and punch to my face, and I'm bleeding and I'm smiling. That's scaring my enemies, you know, when you get hit in your face and you just smile. Okay, that's your best shot, let's keep going. And that's scary. When it happened to me, I fight, one of the most scary fights was actually with a few Africans. And once we start to fight and the shirts cuts and everything, and I saw the guy, body, and that guy had so many deep scars on him. And I thought, wow, it's not going to be simple. That guy, maybe when he was going to some shopping in Africa, he fight with a lion or with some kind of really scary animal. You could see the scars the guy, and the guy fall, and then he get up, and my friend elbow his face, and the guy get up, and then I move my friend, and I took a baton, and I open it, and I smack him on the head, and the guy get up. And I don't want to be again in this feeling. And I throw the baton far away because I said, I don't want him to disarm my baton and hit me. I'm not going to get up from it. And actually what happened is that we fight with them. The hammer didn't work, but the grappling worked. And we just restrained them. And I can tell you, because I will never forget it. We put him in it's a glass elevator. There's a glass like this. And we pushed them down, and they broke the elevator. And I'm sure that the next day, they all been in hospital. But they were so high with drugs, I'm sure, that they just kept going. They just kept killing. You know, like a crazy nutcase. But they were loaded with drugs. That's it. If you read the Zulu fight against the British has the best guns in the world, and the most accurate guns, and the Zulu had only the stick of the Zulu and batons, and they won. And of course it's the spirit, but sometimes this spirit you can do it from here, but sometimes you can do it from here with a drug. And even the Zulu, they didn't do it from here only. They did it by ceremony, by dancing near to the fire and ecstasy. But they also had the shaman make for them a powder that it's actually relaxing them and on the same time alert them very much. So it's like a blend of marijuana, that they let's go easy, and then also like speed. So that's scary. And if you have to fight somebody like this, I wish that you have a very good body condition, because he's gonna hit you back, you're gonna hit him, he's gonna hit you back, you're gonna, both of you, losing breathing. But the guy that never give up will win, and it's no matter. It's just the guy that you can be 10-degree black belt or him with no belt. The guy that's going to not give up is the guy that going to win. This is why when you ask me about training method, I come from swordmanship. And many times in the swords, I let the students do very hard training. And when they're exhausted completely, I don't let them go. I'm tired. There's no tired. There's no tired. The tired is when you finish the fight like a man. So you have to create extra power and do it. And every sword teacher will do it. Every sword teacher, you scream, and then you are like this. You're tired, and I will never let you. You have to stand and bring it back. And they teach your brain those kind of channels, that the brain control those channels, and it control the thing that he can perform it. If not, your training is a ballet, or your training. Yeah, I saw a lot of those kind of dance, like with knives and this. It's work. It's not. It's work if I cooperate. The problem is when we don't cooperate. But again, you cannot also run all the training with not cooperate. So many times we cooperate, but you need also to develop that spirit, because the real fight, there will not be a cooperation. So that's a good recipe.
Thank you very much for your answer. Mr. Nardia, can we discuss some certain cases from the people's life, empty hands against the knife? And maybe you can show what tactics and strategy can person use in such situation?
Yeah, for example, like, I'm now in Israel, and in Israel, stabbing is a daily thing. And many times also people will say, I disarming, they will come, I'm a martial artist and I disarming a real knife. If you really do the search, you will find out that, no, you didn't disarming. Basically, the guy stabbed like 10 people, and then he got tired, and then, the knife fall or something, or somebody dropped it, and then you choked him or whatever. But when the guy is loaded with energy, it will be very difficult to disarming him. It will be really difficult. And there is no special tactic. The tactic is damage control. For example, if anything that you do, but if you turn and you give your back and you start to escape, for example, I can demo it. This is Firas. You see, this is Israel. We have all the students.
Hello.
So, what happened now, if, for example, we do Kali, and Firas attacking me, come more close because of the camera. So, he tried to cut my neck like this. Yeah? So, when Firas do it, in Israeli martial art, I block with my hands. In Kali or in Arnis, you block like this. And then you double check, and then you do the Ubat. But in Israeli martial art, we decide to do it this way. And also, in Kali, for example, you will sometimes come to the knife, so if you come, like that. But when I turn this way, if you go, he still cut me. So I'm actually giving Firas, I'm giving him the vital point. Because, come more close. Look, if Firas cut me and I turn, he cut my ear, I'm still alive. Again, he cut me and I'm doing this, I'm still alive. So take a look. If Firas cut me and I'm doing this, I'm actually bringing, what happened, I bring all the things that I don't want to be cut. But all the approach in a knife tactic many times is this. The reason is, it's come from a knife to against a knife. Knife against a knife, I can understand it. But when I don't have a knife, the last thing I want is this. The reason is that like this, he cut me in the back. And that's again, when we talk about, for example, damage control idea, this is damage control. Damage control is different than, for example, I'm a master. And I show you again. I do this. Who kicked my stomach? And that's where we start to talk about the David style. And I explain it. Because I work a lot with Kali and different system and Serrada and Lameco. And I advise a lot with also very good knife people. And the problem is here is only the upper triangle. And if you come from the other side, this is the upper triangle. If you come from under, this is the down triangle. The problem, if I do this, it's okay, but you can still do that. So this is why I want to be here. And now my defense is different. It's an upper triangle and down triangle. So when I'm here, I'm headbutt him, I'm stepping on his leg. So if I fall him, he will break his heel. So I'm stepping on him. Okay?
Yes.
And what I'm trying to do is actually, this, and his hand is down, what he's gonna say now? He's gonna say, oh shit. And that's why this hand must be here. So if I do this, he can block. And that's where the oh shit hand must be up. You understand?
Yes.
And that's where, again, there's a lot of thinking behind. It's not just to do self-defense. Now, many times you will see people, when the knife comes, they go inside. But if he's there, and the knife comes, I had all the time to turn around and to escape. My problem starts in that range. In many times we call it the close range, not the mid and not the long. And in this, we stop. I'm stuck here. Now, many times people, for example, they do this and the lock. And then they try to knee the person. If the person grab my leg, now I have a big problem. I'm standing on 1 feet, and if he drop me down, he will kill me. You understand? If, for example, Firas, I will do it again, I'll take the camera down. You see what happened? What happened is that I will throw him, then the knife will come out and the stab will coming back. I don't want to defend the knife like many systems. I prefer to defend and to stay standing. Okay? And for example, once I trap the hand, the next will be bow and arrow. And if you do it fast and strong, it will hit him. And this point, for example, that point here, if I put my finger, only the power of a finger can stop a person over here. And when I do it with a hit, it's a way much stronger. So when the knife comes, I want to be on the side. I want to be outside. I don't want to be inside, because now I have to deal with this hand, with those legs, with the headbutt. So self-defense, the best defense is be outside, not inside. Inside, it's coming only because of a scenario that I couldn't perform better way. And that's why whenever knife comes, I want to be outside. I want to be here. And that's a bow and arrow. He cannot free the hand, even I have only this finger. Of course I will grab it. I'm handicapped, that's why I'm not grabbing him. And that's why people sometimes see something and they say, oh, why you don't grab him? Okay, if you can, you do it. I'm handicapped. I wish I could grab him. This is some of the basic. I give you another. He's running to me with the high speed. A lot of time people perform a kick for here. A kick to the groin will make him bend. So it's because I don't understand the chain of attack. If you kick a person here, you want to bend. And what he bends with a knife. And this is why, again, it is very important to play games. Because by playing the game, we understand what can be happen if and if and if. This is why we're not fighting, we play. Many times you'll see me. And also, if you don't try things, you will never know if they work or not. This is why we play. He tried to fail me, and I'm trying to do things. So now I'm going to talk just about the upper arrow. Okay? So I will do the upper arrow first. Upper arrow for this side. You see my thumb? If I grab him, he will do this and the knife to my neck bend. Because of each grab, it will work against me. That's why I need a monkey grip. So now he cannot do it. He can try all his I might disarm and have the knife with me. I again don't want to kill him. I might just immobilize him by cutting tendons. Immobilize him so I can escape safe. And this is, for example, civilian thinking, not military thinking. Military thinking, you bring the knife to him. Civilian life is different. I don't want to kill him. Military style, I want to kill him. So, the same disarming, this time with this hand. It's the same disarming that I did here. But this time, when he attacks, I'm out and I'm over here. And again, military style, knife go back to him. Civilian, I just disarm him. If I be cut, yes, but this is not worried me so much as getting cut over here. If he try to stab on this side, again, military style, knife going back to him. I'm not trying to disarm him. And so, this time, I want him to do like a slash. So, this time, I will try to avoid. The first slash, I'm moving. I move back. That's the best defense. I don't want to do any contact, so I'm back. But the second, I have a wall. And that's where I have to block myself. So if we cut again, or I do this way. It depends on the situation. Sometimes I will do 2 arrows because I don't know if you go down. So when you go 1 and 2, I block. And then turn the knife to him. If I want, for example, like 2 civilians, I do another gyro. And disarming him. And again now, his gravity is holding him. If I take him more back, you can see. His gravity is holding him. So, gyro is another element that as a knifeman I might do. So when he comes, I turn if I want to take the knife for him. If he's too strong, I keep the knife with me and I break the arm with a sankyo. So it depends. If the mountain don't move, I move. That's also a principle. Here, if I do the gyro, I can gyro grab him this way. And then now I do gyro on a gyro. It's a different concept. Or when you're attacking this side. It's almost the same. And again, if it's not, I'm going under him. The more he's strong on the knife, it's better for me. The more he's strong, it's better for me. The leverage is much stronger. Again, military style, knife going back to him. Military style, knife going back to him. Okay? Now, sometimes for people that are not strong, when he cut, I will hit him down to get him down. Okay? And again, I crucified if I need. So this is a little bit of the upper triangle, down triangle. There's many other things that we will do. There's many different disarming. There's also fancy ones. The fancy ones did not mean to do them in the street. It's like this case. It's not for the street, all of these high kicks. But it's to create your flexibility, your mobility. And this is again, in the streets, maybe my technique will be a way much more simple, which is good. Now, with the, for example, with Filipino martial arts, you have minimum 12 angles. Minimum. Some teachers do more. For us, we don't have so many. I will show. We have angle number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's very important. It's very important not to do 1. You see where's my knife? Not to do 2. You see where's my knife? This is not good. Every time when I cut, the blade keep for him. The blade keep for him. The blade keep for him. Blade keep for him. So actually in a combative, for example, reverse, it will be the same. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps. If I do it with two hands, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If it will be left, it will be the same. If it will be left with the reverse, it will be the same. Now, this is a cut, and this is a step. So this is a step one, this is a cut one, this is a reverse one. So the language became very simple because the students don't need to remember so many angles. Either it's a reverse one, straight one, or step one, or reverse grip step one. And that's how we make it much more simple, that you don't need really to be high mathematic to study. And that's where the combative start to get in. Now, all of those things that, for example, he attacking me, no, so all of those drills with Ubad, they don't work. Because if the students, he don't know what I do, he don't cooperate. And that's where people start to teach their students and they dancing with the knife, which is nice, but it's not random. And the fight is random. That's the difference. The fight is a random thing. And that's where, for example, we have very simple drills. For example, we call it step to the Teletubby. For safety, we step to the Teletubby. You know Teletubbies?
Yes.
He stepped me in the television of the Teletubby. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Now the defense can be down, side, outside. Okay, that could be the defense. Once we get it, I start to give different angles. Okay, so the next drill will be with the reverse. And with the reverse, it will be straight and a step. Straight and a step. So it's important not to do this. When you move the knife, not to do that way. The knife must be go straight and then do the stop. So, the best? That's good. The next will be to start to move your legs. And the reason is that many times, for example, we do cut number 1, and we go back, we say cut number 1. So cut number 1, you can cut my leg. So if I do this, I can cut the leg. That's why when we fight, I need to have the ability to move also my legs, not only my hands. And this is again how you start to build different mechanisms that you'll be able to do things. Of course, you can have all of those tricks that the guy has the knife and you protect, and then you do all of those fast disarming, magician disarming. But remember that it's not for every 10, one time you are not going to lose the knife. So for self-defense, we prefer not to do that. But we teach everything. We teach everything because sometimes it's also to entertain the student. Because if you're not going to entertain your student and teach them only one thing, we want them to enjoy the class. We want them to respect the class, to like what we do.
Please show another one case. For example, if you already fall down and you are on the ground and he is attacking you with a knife, what you can do in this situation?
I will explain too. Many times, for example, when I am in what we call guard, this is guard. A lot of time, if my guard will be closed, moving to what we call open guard and spider guard. Okay? So I will move now to do spider guard and open guard. So this is spider guard. Okay? Spider guard, I'm using my legs as another two hands that I can perform shocks, I can perform different things. Yeah, so we do it from here. So the spider guard, he can cut me here. You see? So the first thing is to grab his hand and to grab his hand. Try to move the hand. Okay, so this is called spider guard. I'm using my legs in different tricks. Now, the source is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I will do it again like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we talk about what happened when the knife coming in. Okay?
Yes.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, many times I do this, and I put my leg here. And this is exactly when I do a hand crunch. You see the hands over here, and then I do a hand crunch. Now the problem is, with the knife, it's totally different. You see. So if we do it again, in BJJ, we bring this inside. And the problem when we bring it inside is that you risk the femoral artery and you risk the Avi artery. It's not a good idea. Now we do it like Israeli martial art. So instead of bringing it from here, from under, we bring it from over. And we bring it inside. And now his hand is trapped. And even if he don't cut on the femoral artery, he cut me here. So if I take him more, you could see Americana. He will break his arm. And from here, if I do this, I will put him to sleep. And this is again how we take from BJJ, but we change because of the arteries to be available for us for a combat. It's a great technique, but instead of coming from under, like the normal, we change it from over. The reason from over, even if he cut now, he's not going to cut anything fatal. If it's here, it's very difficult. Okay? Another thing that when I bring it here, and if I do this, I put him forward. And you see, his hand trapped. I move my leg out so you can see. He cannot get up, you see. I break his elbow. And I still have 2-3 hands that I can do whatever I want. Can you get up? Can I kick him? Can I break his hand? Of course. And his hand is locked under me for a situation that he is in a situation that his hands cannot move. And that's what I want. I don't want his hands. The mobility of his hands is the risk for me to get more cuts. And if he cut me on my butt, it's not going to be deadly. I'm going to bleed. You know, I got hit in my nose, I got cuts here. You're not going to die from it. The problem starts if it's artery. The problem starts if it's a femoral artery, which is here. And actually, when you mention also for a soldier, many of the steps, once we have a Kevlar protector over here, that you cannot even shoot it. So But the most dangerous stabs are for here, like all of those stabs, different numbers in different systems, or to the kidney area. And this, even if you look for old protectors from ancient days to today, nothing changed. We still, this is the most dangerous thing to get cut. And this is even in ice hockey. Every few years somebody died because in ice hockey the knife from the shoe cut somebody's neck. He fall on the floor and he cut here with a knife. And that's why even in hockey we have a protector here to protect ice hockey players from this. And this is why, again, in the martial art, when we start to teach knives, we have to work by concept of for example, damage control. When I work with doctors and I see how a real cut looks like, how a guy cut you and you're intense, just running all the way, and you come to the hospital holding them. And this is why, for example, we have a paramedic that run also classes to our guys. And they come with a presentation that they show them what happened if a stab here and a stab here, what is the danger, what arteries, what if this got stabbed, that got stabbed, what if your stomach got open, what you should do, what kind of emergency, because this should be also a part of a knife class, not only how to kill. Because you might be the guy that get cut, and you need to know to treat yourself. And this is why when our concept for this is completely coming from educational, from explore. And we never see, if somebody will tell me that he has a special system, I want to see it. If you look in the internet today, everyone is like, oh, look at this. What do you think for this? People try to look bigger by standing on other people's shoulder. Like, how should you know? You take one video of 1 minute from a class that maybe were 5 days. And maybe if the teacher want to start with a mistake and he show, guys, let me show you what we used to do. Now it's running to the internet and a guy immediately, to build his name and to build his credit, he needs to bash everyone. For me, I don't care even if you do mistakes. I try to study from your mistakes. I'm not trying to laugh to you. The more people I see what they do, maybe even you do 99% of mistakes, but one move I can steal and I say, wow, everything he did is an idiot, but this move that guy did, I can use it with my moves over there and build a better system. And that's where, again, I try to educate my students not to slander other systems, not to laugh about other people. You don't know. I studied from a guy that don't have 2 legs. But if you see him, he lean on the wall with a knife fight. But only the people that know he don't have legs. That's why he lean on the wall. So you might run into conclusion, but you actually see how a handicapped guy can do things with a knife. And that's great because maybe you lose your mobility because the guy stabbed you on the quad or something. So I'm trying to study from everyone. I mean, I will not waste my time on idiots because, there's a complete idiot. But when I see good teachers, I never put on my Facebook, for example, look at this, look at this. If the guy don't waste the time to watch, I don't put. But if I see somebody, and I remember because there was a master for Filipino martial art, and he was the dancer, and he put it, and immediately all the ego guys start to post near, oh yeah, let's see him doing this. And I said, oh God, here we start. Because when you look at the video, there's so much to study. And maybe this guy is weak. Maybe this guy is old. But look at the move. Look at the idea that he tried to give you. And maybe you can study from it. Be a teacher is difficult. And that the worst is that we as the teachers sometimes trying to force our students to be us. I'm not trying because everyone has a different body type. How can you do techniques like me? I may be flexible that way, you are not. So this is why we just teach ideas and the students need to find his own way.
Thank you very much for your answer.
I will show you a thing I took it from a handicapped guy. So I'll show you what he did, and then I will develop it to a system that Jesse, my friend from Serrada, is the cousin of Kabbalah, and also you saw at Machado. They're also training that system at the time for knife, and Professor Joe Machado. So you know, a lot of time martial artists do cross training because you have a student that study with you BJJ, and he's a beginner, but then you find out that he's one of the best people with a knife, and you start studying with him knife. And that's where you're a good martial artist. So I'll show you a move that I studied from a guy that is a handicap. I mean, he didn't plan to teach me, but I was very patient to observe. And by observe, you study. And you don't try to, oh, this guy, I can kick him, I can throw something on him to study. So I will show you that move because that move might help to other people like he helped me. So the guy was handicapped, so he just leaned like that on the wall. Okay. He did this and that way. Now when the guy pulled back the hand, you follow, and the guy step again, follow here. And that's actually later on, I will show it like Serrada, but first I'll do it like the handicap. So I'm here, the guy comes. רוצה להגיע ממש לבטן. Now, this is only the hands work, and if you see now, there's also the traps. Okay? Now, what I do is I'm putting the triangle down and the triangle up, so it is up. Now, on the same time, when I do it, this hand is the eye jab to the face, but he has his arm up, the O shape hand, he have it up here. See? You have the arm. See the arm? So when I do this, he might block. And then here. And then. And now we do it like Serrada. In the Serrada, when you attack, I'm here, and when you pull back, I'm here. So what I want you to see now is the first movement, what we call engagement. When the hand's coming to me, I block. He can go to my neck. That's where the other hand should be here, or to go to his face. And that's where I'm over here. Now when you pull the knife, this hand keep engaging to him. So now I first show you how I do it with one hand. Okay? When he's attacking me, I'm over here. He wants to try to keep coming to my stomach. Yeah? Now I show you only one hand right now. This is called umbrella, what I did. See, he tried to go all the way to my neck, so I lift it. Of course, I can move the hands and, you know, like, I can also move when I'm over here, you know, disarming, fast disarming. I have just to take a quick look to see the blade. You see, I have to see the blade that it's this way or this way. And once I saw it, it's okay to disarm. Okay? But these are things that you must be aware, where's the blade. So when he's attacking me, okay. So this is one hand. From here, when I do it, I can do like one arrow. This is like when I start to put gyros. And this is where he's attacking, and I'm over here, and I give him a bump. Or I give him a bump with the leg. So, my problem here is that he want to break my engagement. He's not going to stay engaged to me. When I'm here, he's going to break the engagement by tapping my hand, not tapping with the other hand. You See, this is my problem. And this is also the problem. Many times when he defend, here, when I break engagement, and that's why we teach what is engagement, how you break engagement. So every time when you do this, how you break engagement. So when I engage him and he breaks my engagement, I have to engage with the second one. And that's how the game starts. When he breaks my engagement, I will have to do other things. But here, this is only a drill. So this is a drill just to study. This is a drill just like for a kick and a drop. And to break the engagement is a different skill.
Mr. Nardia, can you share tactics and strategy for another one situation? For example, you have two attackers with a knife. So what you can do in such situation?
When he attacking me, I'm also bending. So when he attack, I'm over here. And I have to keep him on this engagement. As long as I'm here, he can keep trying. See, I will try to do like my brother and to keep myself here. When he's there, I have to be aware also of those fast release. So also I have to be able to engage with all my body. So I'm actually waiting here for the second one coming. When I'm trapping him, see, so I will take him as my shield. So when the other comes, I will always use him against him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even here, we have two possibilities. When I'm here, and the guy, either the guy is over, and then you see, either the guy is over, and then I try to trap them both, or by mixing them, or the guy will be under. So when I'm here, see, and I'm all over those things, the guy might be under. That's the same thing. Or over here. And disarming them when I tie their hands together. And again, this comes from that fight that when Fira's attacking me, so or I hit him, I give him a shot here, that's I'm sorry. But this is my reflex to take your femur. Also over here, is a tendon that once you push, you do this. So what I'm stabbing is that tendon. So when he's coming, I'm over here, I'm doing the bad. I'm taking him here, okay? And I'm taking him from the back. And this end is still on the trap. So when I want to kill him, I just leave him, but he fall on the blade by himself. And here, again, when he attack, if he comes down, I walk in here. So my attack is here. And again, this is to use him as a shield or to switch and use him as a shield here. I'm not killing him. So when I get the second one, now many times I don't have the knife, and it will be the same, just with my hands. So yeah, if I'm here, my hand coming, and I grab him. And he will come with me anywhere I tell him. Anywhere. And this is again, sometimes when people see knife fighting, they say, oh, this is so brutal. Wow. That's not a ballet. This is knife fighting. Once you start to fight knife fighting, it's a very nasty business. You know, I was near to a lion, maybe 2 meters, when he's eating an animal, and you could hear how he's tearing the tendons. That's a knife fight, just different knife. And this is why when we talk, I told you, a danger knife man is a guy that's going to use a knife. That's a danger knife man. Not a knife that walk with a knife or practice knife.